So, a very warm good morning to everybody, and especially for anybody who's joining us for the first time. My name is Tara Healey, and I'm the founder and director of Point 32 Health's Mind the Moment mindfulness program. Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. Point 32 Health is the parent company of both of those organizations. And I'm really delighted to be here with you this morning. The practice is fully guided. It is usually right around 12 or 13 minutes long. We do save some time for Q&A at the end, but of course, you can feel free to hop off at that point as well. And I think without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into practice. So you have options in terms of posture. You could do this standing, you could be seated, you could even do it lying down if you're not too tired. Lying down is fine. But walking is also a great meditation practice, but today it would be standing, seated, or lying down. And your eyes can be open or closed, whatever feels like it's going to serve you best. If you keep your eyes open, it's helpful to gaze downward a little bit. So let's go ahead and move into a posture that feels like it's going to serve you best. And just begin by letting go of all that has happened so far this morning and releasing anticipation of what's next. Just allow yourself to fully arrive here, mind and body together. And as you settle into a posture, you want a spine that is straight but not stiff, so you feel some sense of engagement and alertness. And begin to notice points of contact with the back of the body and the surface. And notice any pulsing or vibration, tingling, kind of like you're a scientist and you are also the subject. So just seeing what sensations are making themselves known to you right now, and bringing an attitude of receptivity and curiosity, just simply receiving. The word allow is helpful. And these sensations could be either pleasant or unpleasant, or somewhere on a continuum. They could also be neutral, although there are fewer things that are neutral in our experience. Usually we're somewhere on the continuum of feels good or doesn't feel so good. So just see what the body is offering you this morning. And let's take a moment to move from whole body awareness to expand awareness to include sound. So sound that may be in the room that you're in or outside of the room. And just note hearing sounds arising and passing in your background. And allowing sound to remain as it will in your background, kind of coming and going. Begin to bring awareness back into the whole body, and we'll do just kind of a sweep of the body with our attention. So starting at the soles of the feet, the top of the feet, the toes, the ankles, so both the left and right together, just receiving and noticing sensation or lack of sensation. And moving up to the lower leg, just bringing that kind of curiosity and allowance, just simply noticing what's there. Moving up to the knees and to the thighs. So both legs in your field of awareness and just simply noticing, receiving, moving up over the hips, and then sweeping awareness up over the torso and down both arms, including the hands. Just aware of what's there. And coming back up around the neck, sweeping up the back of the head and the sides of the head, the top of the head. And moving awareness down now around the face. So the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks and jaw, the mouth and tongue. See if you can soften the muscles of the face, but just to the degree that you're able. Noticing what's there and releasing that. And for a moment, just coming back to whole body awareness. And let's begin to find an anchor, something that we can return the wandering mind to over and over again to bring some stability to the mind. So that could be breath sensation as you inhale and exhale. Where in the body do you feel it most prominently? And that could be the belly or the chest or the nostrils or just the carriage of the body. You feel it in a broader way, the carriage of the body moving, and really tapping into the feeling of the inhalation and exhalation. If breath is challenging, you could take the palms of your hands and rest them on your thighs. And that point of contact would be what you return the wandering mind to. You could also use sound. There's a sound in your background that's somewhat consistent. So see what might work for you this morning. And I would stay with that anchor for the remainder of our practice this morning. So whatever feels like it's going to work best for you. And noticing where the mind is. Gently releasing the narrative, softening the body, and returning. And noticing where the mind is. Releasing, softening, and returning. And noticing where the mind is. And noticing where the mind is, releasing thought, softening the body, and returning to your anchor. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our heart be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our body healthy and strong. And may whatever good comes of our practice be of benefit to all beings. And I also want to close by reading a poem by Dana Faulds that I've read before, and I really love, and it's called Willingness. In the willingness to feel, there is healing. In the choice not to closet, cast aside, or deny experience, energy is freed, and I dive deeper into life. There may be maturity in choosing not to act, but there are no rewards for suppression and denial. To be fully alive is saying yes to the wide array of human feelings. When I soften, release, and breathe, I discover I am more than what I think, feel, reason, or believe. So, taking a moment to open the eyes and um, just usually I just kind of reorient to the space I'm in, look around a little bit. And I love that piece by Dana Faulds. I love all of her poetry. I think she's just genius the way she kind of captures the ordinary and the kinds of um, ordinary feelings and emotions that all of us deal with. And in this practice, the idea is to allow whatever has arisen to be there, to notice it, to feel it physically in the body. Because I think there can be a very natural tendency with things that are unpleasant to deny or push away. And when things are pleasant, like wanting to hold on and not wanting them to change, but impermanence is constantly in play, which is good news when things are unpleasant. Um, but maybe not so good news when things are pleasant, because that also is going to change. But the more we see the changing nature of everything, every thought, every emotion, every body sensation, which we are doing when we're practicing, the more we understand that, and at deeper and deeper levels, the freer our mind becomes, because we see that this is just the nature of everything. And I've always found it just incredibly supportive and helpful. So we do have, we started kind of right on time. So we do have some opportunity for Q&A or sharing resources. So anybody that has recently come across a book or an app or um, a teacher that has moved you, that you've been influenced by, please feel free to share in the chat. Um, and of course, for anybody that needs to hop off, that's okay too. But we do have a little bit of time, so let's see. Is anybody still listening to Dan Harris? Anybody following his podcast? Which the podcast and his brand is 10% Happier. The app is called Happier. He's no longer connected with the app, but I think he's had some good stuff on there recently. Good teachers. And if you haven't seen it, he's doing something with Joseph Goldstein and Sam Harris. Okay, so question, when we have a lot of stressful and taxing situations that pull strongly at our attention, sideline our practice, what can we do to avoid quitting? It is so frustrating when practice becomes almost impossible. Yeah, Colleen, I imagine that there are many other people who are on the call now who can relate to this. You know, um, if we were together, I might ask you a little bit more about it. So one thing I'll say is that in practice, everything is allowed. We're not trying to create a special state of relaxation and no stress. So that is really important to understand that just that concept, because meditation and mindfulness carry a lot of cultural baggage, and some of that means that we do this and the purpose is to relax. But that's not the purpose of mindfulness meditation. It is with some other meditative practices. But the idea is that we are fully aware and feeling whatever has arisen. So when we are feeling contracted, stressed, overwhelmed, then that's what we're aware of. And we actually, the word allow is really helpful. You could also shorten your practice, just do a few minutes, like 2 minutes at different points throughout the day where you stop and you feel into the stress and the pulling and the anxiety, and you up your curiosity, like, where is this showing up physically in the body? And even just the labeling, I see you, you're here. And the other thing is, depending on um, what's going on, movement practices are great. So where you can bring in walking practice, Tai Chi, yoga, anything. And the idea is that you're bringing your attention to the movement and the breath and fully feeling into what's going on in the body. So ultimately, the practice helps us to see and relate to whatever is happening with more balance. So Ian, I went outside to do this, sat in a lawn chair in a neighborhood after a guy climbed on my lap demanding petting. Yes. All right. So you can bring that in too. Susan, I found that having this group 3 times per week, given a reliable reminder. Yes. Yeah. I mean, yesterday I was teaching for a group and I said, this practice is simple, but it isn't easy. But when we can do it collectively in a group, and it makes it easier because we're all doing it together and we're seeing the nature of not only our mind, but everyone's minds. The content is different, but the nature of, kind of thoughts arising, we chomp away, we see that a thought has slipped in, we can release. This is what's happening in everybody's mind. And so often people think they're alone in it, but that's not true. Lozelle, I listened to Mel Robbins and with #1 neurosurgeon touched upon. Yes, yes. That's awesome. Thank you, Lozelle. Mindfulness, fortunately, has been around for a couple thousand years. That's not a fad, but it was reaching a point in our popular culture where it was in danger of being misconstrued, but it hasn't gone away in part because of the neuroscience, that this is legit. We are actually training our attention and we are looking at habit patterns, of which each of ours are different, but we're getting to know more clearly what the habit patterns of our minds, what's going on. What you describe about impermanence is a part of coming into the wisdom. Yes, it's a powerful realization, something that, yes, absolutely, Teresa. Thank you for that. It is, I would say, I would venture to say that at really the very core or heart of this practice is understanding impermanence, that everything changes, that everything is of a nature to arise, do its thing, and move. And there is freedom in that. And on a very basic level, we can all understand that. Like if you were to stop somebody on the street and say, do things change? They'd say yes. But we are actually learning about change and impermanence in a deeper way, and learning about mindfulness and what it actually is. It's layered, it's nuanced. And the more we practice, the more we kind of uncover that. And really, I think all you need is patience, trust that there might be something to it, not blind belief. So patience, trust, and then the discipline to do the practice. As Dan Harris says, daily-ish, and he got that from a listener, but I like it. So, and it doesn't have to be 45 minutes, it doesn't have to be long drawn out practices. Just do bite-sized practices maybe a few times during the day. Then you can increase. Um, and I'm also a big proponent of retreat practice. Um, which is just literally like kind of a little bit of an immersion. Like if you were learning a language or learning an instrument, you might immerse yourself in it if you were on a time frame that you needed to learn it quickly. Not like we're just on our life's time frame with this practice, but it's enormously helpful to get into some kind of a regular rhythm, especially on the days that you don't want to or you're not feeling great. Like those are really good days to practice, but just accommodate a little bit, do less, do a walking practice, do something a little bit different. Um, and Dot, I look forward to these. Thank you. I do too. We have another yes to Mel Robbins. Um, yeah, the thing I like often about Mel Robbins is that she's pretty honest, just about her own foibles and her own struggles, and we all have them. I mean, it's just the nature of being a human being that we have them. But I wanted to just put a plug in for the Tuesday afternoon sessions. And right now, Cara Lai is talking about mindful parenting. So it's Tuesdays 12 to 12:30. And then the last Tuesday of the month is going to be me doing an interview um, with someone who's like an expert in compassion and compassion practices. So I'll put more in the link next week for those, but that one is the last Tuesday of the month. Oh, Loisel, yeah, sitting there purposely drove, yeah, so that you could join this morning. I'm so happy to hear it, and we've got a great community, and in given everything that is happening in the world right now, we need each other. We really need this kind of community. So even though on um, Thursdays and also Tuesdays we can't see each other, we can on Wednesdays. Just a reminder: Wednesday could be cameras on, and we can talk. Thursday and also Tuesday are webinar format, whereas Wednesday is meeting format. But either way, like just to know that when I look at the number of people, I think we had 31 on this morning when we started. And we're at 25, which is, to have folks who are able to stay is great. So um, we're at 9:01. Any last thoughts, comments, questions? Okay. All right. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for joining.